So we're talking with Laura Figueroa. You are the community liaison for
Gilead
Gilead?
Sciences.
Okay. And what is your role here today?
I'm actually a volunteer to being a moderator for the event,
Okay.
and I'm just trying to empower women to take advantage of this moment and learn as much as they can, engage as much as possible, and take some tools for practical living, for self-care back home, where they can also share that with their families and friends.
Okay. How important is it for women of color to get tested?
Very important, because we know that the infection rates are going up for them, and they are at high risk. Many of them don't even know it or do not believe that they might be at risk. So it is important to raise awareness around that, especially because they are the ones that bear life. So we want to make sure that they are taking care of themselves.
How important is a conference like this today?
Very important, because I think women not only come here and gain information, but they network, they meet other people, they see that they are not alone, that other women just like them are going through the same struggles, but they are also, more likely to feel empowered because they see that other women are taking charge of their health and their life, and they're making a difference in the community, and so they realize all of a sudden that not only they can change their lives, but they also can be empowered to change their surroundings.
Okay. Thank you.
Provider that can understand our concerns, right? And if that provider doesn't listen to us, we have the option to switch. Yes? I would like to introduce a man that I have had the pleasure to work with for the last year and a half as well. Not directly, but in a different capacity. And I have observed the way he speaks to his office. And I have been able to observe how he talks to his clients out of the THC community. And I have heard his clients speak about him. It reminds me of my mother when she was struggling with multiple conditions. And she didn't feel safe at one place, and we have to look for another doctor. And that doctor sat down with her and asked her questions. That doctor always asked her how she felt and always paid close attention to her needs. When I look at Dr. Butler, I feel like I'm looking at that doctor that treated my mom with so much respect that I will be grateful to him. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Butler. He is the director of the THC Clinic and also the director of the THC Clinic's HIV program. And Dr. Butler, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us. Always supporting women.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Again, as always, Laura, thank you. Thank you, Nina, for inviting me here to the Breaking the Silence Conference. I spoke here last year, and I really feel it's one of my favorite conferences as an attendee, definitely as a speaker. I really want to thank Shelley for that presentation because it really ties into what I'm about to talk about here today. My topic is a bit more scientific. It involves epidemiology and the study of population. But really, the stuff that we're talking about really tie into this idea of self-esteem, self-worth. How women, especially women of color, can protect themselves, and may explain some of what we're seeing in these statistics I'm going to show you. Just to piggyback on what they talked about. Did any of you see the movie The Help? Yeah. Do you remember the movie where the maid was working for this white family, and the daughter of one of her was kind of overweight, and his mother really didn't like her, but she made sure to tell that girl every day, you are smart, you are kind, etc. And that ties into exactly the topic. And, tell them another story, but get out there in the world and fighting against kind of the struggles that we all do as adults, they don't have that tool inside them. No one can take that away. So remember that. You are smart. Tell your children they're smart. Tell your children they're beautiful. Tell them that what they see on TV, on the news, and what other people may say has no bearing on who they are. Help them make good decisions. Be good citizens and pursue the dreams that they want to pursue. Protect themselves. So, that's my 2 cents. But I'm going to move forward to talk about HIV and AIDS, especially in women of color. And the first slide I always like to talk about this idea of HIV because you are all here educated. You may know a lot about HIV, you may not. But unfortunately, the general public doesn't know about it. And I felt I want to kind of bring some ideas to the forefront. First of all, the idea of what does HIV look like? Because many people are still stuck 30 years ago on what HIV is, or what is it? You know, does it look like this? I don't know if you can see the picture. You know, is it gay men parading around? Is that what HIV patient looks like, or someone with HIV? Next slide. This person who got an IV needle stuck in his arm, he looks pretty disheveled and dirty and wasted and diseased. Is that HIV? I mean, in some circumstances, someone can have HIV, right? But that's not the whole picture. Next slide. Press against me. It looks like this. The poor girl in Africa has herpes zoster or shingles at 13 years old. It's really unheard of, but she has HIV, she has AIDS. Next slide. Another patient in Africa again who has backwards. Wait for me. There we go. Someone in Africa again, wasted, dying, etc. That's what HIV looks like. But not necessarily, because next slide. Here we go. HIV can look like this. Okay? On your left, the gentleman, the black guy, of course, Magic Johnson, the most famous HIV patient that we know of. Healthy and happy. And he has HIV. Anyone know who this person is on your left side? Her name is Marvelyn Brown. She's actually a young African-American woman who contracted HIV at age 19 from her boyfriend and has now written a book. You look her up, Marvelyn Brown. Very nice book about her story and how she came to grips with being an HIV positive patient. She's a beautiful young woman. I've actually met her. But she's got HIV. Doing well. Marvelyn Brown. M-A-R-V-L-Y-N, Brown. Next slide. But the issue is this. HIV looks like this. This is what HIV looks like. HIV is a virus. It's a microorganism that we treat very effectively every day. It's not any of those other things. Those people may have it, certain populations have it more than others, but really, it's a virus. You take medicine for it, you control it, and you live. Next slide. So where is it? Unfortunately, it's a huge burden in Africa, another third world country. Almost 2/3 of people with HIV live in sub-Saharan Africa. In the southern hemisphere. Some countries have HIV prevalence or percentage of their population, almost 20% HIV positive in these countries. And as a fact, around the world, HIV is actually predominantly in women. Fortunately, the percentages are slightly more than 50% women around the world with HIV. Not so in our country, but the rest of the world is a heterosexual disease. Next slide. In the United States, we don't have near the HIV burden as many other areas of the world, but still over 1 million, maybe 1.2 to 1.3 million people living with HIV. And every year, still more than 50,000 people are newly infected with HIV. It's all under control, we don't have to worry about it. Still 50,000 people a year are getting infected. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to reduce that number in 10 years. Next slide. When you look at HIV by race, again, part of the reason we're here today is the fact that if you look at the population of the United States on your left, you look at the pie chart, you can see in blue and green, blacks and Latinos or Hispanic only make up 12 or 13% of the population in general. But on your right, look at the number of people with HIV. Blacks make up 46%, almost half. Latinos, 18%. Actually more than your normal numbers in the population. Total those numbers, again, 46%. Now say people of color. 18% Latinos, 2% other, which includes Asians, Native Americans, plus 46% African Americans. That's 66% of people with HIV are people of color. 66%, 2/3. Yet we only make up 1/3 of the population of our country. Next slide. Let's look at women. An even more stark difference among women. Among the general population, you see African American or black women are 14% of the population, Latinos 11% of our women. And yet, looking at HIV rates, black women are 66% of patients with HIV who are women. 66% of the females with HIV are African American, 14% Latinos. You do the math, 80% are women of color. 80% of people with HIV are women of color. That's why we're here today. Next slide. So we want to break down the text of the over 1 million cases of HIV and AIDS reported. You can see blacks account for 43% of that total. 6% of the women with HIV. 55%, 59% persons heterosexual.
So this is Sandra from Lodi. What exactly is Lodi?
Lodi is a 5-year funded research project that sets out to link women who are HIV positive into care. So we do lots of linkage to case management, a doctor, primary care provider, and we also have our support groups, and we have peers that are trained to work with women who are newly diagnosed, out of care, getting back into care, or transitioning from one medical center to another. And they do a lot of listening, guiding, helping them through the system, getting them established, getting them set up with their medical care, and in hopes of us seeing a growth, a personal growth, and sort of guiding them through what it is that they want to do, get out of life, knowing now that they're positive, and helping them see that there is a good, positive, healthy, long life ahead of them, and we need to encourage that's coming along the way, and they just have to work towards that. Yeah, that's what Lodi does. We're an awesome program, all women, and it really is a good, healthy place for us to grow and mature throughout this journey.